Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's had in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. Wisdom voice in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is the perfect distraction. Papa in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Slow.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? The time, man. I'm in your house. We here. We ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits. Because, hey, we're with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That is right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to professional wrestling business. And, guys, we are back once again. All right. You already know we've been on a hot streak lately. We've been on tear. All right. Give you guys episodes, give you guys content. And we love to do it. A lot to talk about. Always a lot to talk about when it comes to professional wrestling. And I don't do it by myself. Of course, I have a great team here with me. I've only got one of my members of my great team here with me, but we're still going to have a fantastic discussion. And of course, that is the voice, Josh Joseph, coming back to In Your House. How's it going, bro? Whoa. We got you muted here.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was muted there. Household, how are you doing? Glad to be here. Glad to get this off. Can't wait for this episode. We are going to get it cracking today, guys. I can already see the lineup, and you guys are going to enjoy this Sunday Howse Party.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We're going to give them some great work here on the Sunday Howse Party. And, of course, guys, we are out there broadcasting to you live on Facebook, on X, on Twitch, on YouTube, anywhere that you guys can get your content at. We are there. And then, of course, later on, it'll be in audio form for the podcast version on Apple Podcasts and, of course, Spotify. But, man, we have had a weekend of a whole lot of things going on, and of course, when it comes to wrestling, there's always usually something going on. So that's keeps us. That's great for us because it keeps us in content and things to continue to talk about. And of course, this past Friday we just had Smackdown, and man, Smackdown, it's really taking a different vibe. And I'm noticing it as we're moving into a different era here post WrestleMania, and it just feels like things are moving in such an interesting direction with this King of the Ring tournament, but then also other things going on outside of the King of the Ring tournament. A lot of things moving on SmackDown, man. What were your thoughts on the show as far as what you got a chance to check out?
I really enjoyed it. I caught the second half live, and then I went and rewatched a few of the highlights of the first half, but second half, I mean, at first, I wasn't too thrilled about this whole Cody Rhodes and Paul going at it and it for being title for title. But the more I think about it, the more I'm understanding that it was kind of like the King of the Ring could have thrown a little wrench into, possible pushing different storylines besides the Paul storyline. So I'm going to give them a pass on this one. I'm going to enjoy what Cody and Logan throw together. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There is a different feel to SmackDown as of late. And I'm wondering if it's more of the Raw is going to Netflix. I mean, they've already signed and inked the deal. So it's like, it seems more of like they're making it more of a separation from, making those even more separate because we've seen Raw get pretty aggressive as of late. But SmackDown, I like it. It's more production. Like there seems to be more story value, that they get out of in 2 hours as opposed to the 3 hours Raw gets.
Yeah, well, Raw has so much more time to tell that story. And then we already know, and I know we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, that I think all of us feel like that it's going to be like they're already giving us little hints that things are about to definitely get a little bit more edgier. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like, and I think you feel the same way, that once it gets to be January and we hit that Netflix deal, it's going to be full steam ahead. Like we're going to see something Attitude Era-esque and it's gonna be a different vibe. Like, I'm gonna say it right here now on this show that the Raw that you're seeing right now. Well, I'll say it like this because I feel like we're building towards what Raw is going to be in January. The Raw that you saw in January of this year, January of 2024. I'm making a strong claim here that the WWE that you see, that the Monday Night Raw that you see in January of 2025 is going to be vastly different than the Monday Night Raw that you see and that you saw in January of 2024. What do you think about that, Voice?
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. We grew up in the Attitude Era. That's what really sunk its claws into us and pulled us
Yeah.
in as huge fans. So I'm excited for that. I've been wanting that. Attitude Era. Yes, there was some things that today will be problematic, but
Oh yeah.
I think we have the minds that are in charge that are going to understand that and change it and make it not so offensive to some groups and some people. You know, there was a lot of things The Rock said back in that era that people would not be excited to hear. I mean, even Austin, but that's what I love about this form of entertainment for us, is that the fact that you fall in love with these guys so you can understand that that was an era that they were in. It's not like they were the ones like back there writing what was going to be said. It was at that time, wrestling was gotcha wrestling. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you had certain ones you tuned in for matches, and then all of a sudden you get one of your friends calls your house phone. Yeah, it was a house phone. They'd call your house phone and be like, "Hey man, and you watching Raw?" And I'd be watching WCW. Flip over to Raw and see just anarchy happening
Yeah.
on my screen. And that really,
Yep.
I really like that. I do. And I really think that the minds that are in there are really going to make this work for everybody. It's going to be, I've always said wrestling is one of the most inclusive places you can be. The stories you can be anybody you want to be in
Yep.
wrestling as long
That's
as it's a
facts.
good story. So I'm
That
I'm
yeah.
I'm looking real forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of different things moving, but of course on the as far as the SmackDown side of things, a lot of things moving there too. And guys, we
Yeah.
got a really interesting episode to give you guys here. We're gonna talk SmackDown. We're gonna break a few things down, and then on the second half of this episode, we're gonna do three names. It's a game that we're gonna be, well, not really a game, but kind of a breakdown. Three names on each brand that we feel like you guys need to be watching. So I'll be real clear on that when we get to that point. Once we get there, I'm definitely going to break down the rules and everything and what the qualifiers and what the parameters are on these three names.
Yeah.
But as far as what we have to talk about now, we had a SmackDown that was going down, and it was a really interesting episode. We had Bianca Belair defeated Tiffany Stratton in the Queen of the Ring quarterfinals match, and was a pretty good match. But I mean, after this week that Tiffany Stratton has had, I did not expect her to win that match at all.
Yeah.
I just didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I'm not saying, I don't know for sure if she was booked to win the match before. I'm not in that locker room. I don't know. I don't got the pin, nothing like that. Nothing. So I don't even know if she was booked to win even before what happened. But it just felt like the writing on the wall was there, and Bianca Belair moves forward. And I feel like a lot of the household was like, yeah, it's probably Bianca that's
Yeah.
moving on. So what do you think, man? Bianca moves on. Any thoughts on it?
I mean, I like it. This was actually this is a little controversial to say, but this was actually a match where Tiffany Stratton could have messed up because, I mean, you had so many avenues you could have went with the Bianca story proceeding in the Queen of the Ring. And what's really cool about Bianca's story is that not only does it affect her, it affects Jade, because we see the writing on the wall with them and Jade, with Bianca and Jade, and I like it. I like how it's going to be. I like the way Bianca is. When we met her, she's the EST. She's the best of everything, and she really showed that. Like, she showed her competitive side. And when you link her up with somebody like Jade, and you can play in that storyline of who's the more accomplished athlete, that's where you
Yeah.
get the best of Jade, in my opinion. So I love this. Um, Again, I know it's not the right thing to say that Tiffany had a ability to screw up in this one, and as long as she apologizes, but at the end of the day, you really have to see the trajectory that Bianca's on, and
Yeah.
uh and if you don't see it, then you're not watching Bianca, because it's going to be a phenomenal 2024 for her.
I think so too. I think that I mean, if you see it on X like I do, there's that Bianca exhaustion. It's there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like there's people on there. I was actually it's not even that clever, but somebody called her like Super Sianka, like Super Sianka. I'm like, oh man, all right. So all right, but
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, so it's out there though,
yeah.
that
It is.
but it's like I know I've said this on a previous episode, like we have to get the most out of Bianca Belair. We have to get she's in the prime of her career right now. We gotta keep her prevalent, keep her in front. Like I said, 10 years of Roman Reigns, and there's whispers like, oh, it might no Roman might not, he might be, retiring, and I hope that doesn't happen. I feel like we still got a lot of good years left in Roman Reigns. But my point in saying that is get the most out of Bianca Belair, because she's somebody who is super talented, charisma great, super marketable, and somebody who's just a complete freakish athlete that can do so much in the ring. You have to put that front and center, So I know there's that exhaustion out there for Bianca, but trust me, if you're somebody who sees things from like a talent relations perspective, I'm telling you, they're going to keep rolling Bianca out there until they can't anymore, or she doesn't want to anymore. So
Yeah,
you got to get the most out of it, y'all. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? I know that there's definitely that Tiffany Stratton train that still is still chugging ahead, even with
it is.
even with the IG post, it's still chugging ahead. She's
Yeah,
still got a great fan base. So I get it, but just like relax, because Tiffany has a
yeah.
lot of time, but right now it's Bianca's time. Uh
Oh yeah,
so so yeah, I thought that was pretty good for what it was. We also had Tama Tonga defeating LA Knight in the King of the Ring quarterfinals match. I feel like that's something that we both called to,
yeah.
and that match was what it was. But I just wanted, like, what was the noises that he was making backstage? What was that? Is this a thing that he does? I haven't seen a whole lot of his work in New Japan. It's like, is this a thing that he does? Because he's like, I'm like, I'm like, what's my man doing? What is he possessed? Is he Beavis? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
that
know what that was, bro.
dude, that was fantastic when you pointed that out in the chat. Well, because I was watching it live, and I'm sitting there and they flash to him, and it's like a solo shot, just like this. So it's a solo shot, and then you just
Yeah.
see him going, and it's just so bizarre that I in the chat put, is he portraying Beavis? Like,
Yeah.
are we getting his Beavis imitation? But yeah, I like it though. It adds that crazy chapter to him. His little
Yeah.
the peel of the onion. You get to see that when
Layers.
he goes up against somebody like the likes of an Orton, he's in it. He's
He
ready
goes
to
to a
go.
different
He's
place. Locked in.
exactly, he gets out that warrior mentality that the
Yep.
bloodline is known for. I mean, the family is known for. So
Yep.
I liked it. It was very weird. It was very bizarre, but I'm glad they caught it, and it gives us something extra. It's like when Jimmy and Jay would do something while Roman was being serious off to the side, and the camera catches it. So you get to see, I don't know. It was good. It was good. I
Yeah.
want to see if anybody broke though on the wider shot.
Man, I know. I like everybody's like, what is he doing? Because that's the thing with the bloodline. You get somebody in there that's funny, and they're all gonna fold.
Yeah.
They
Oh yeah.
all
Yeah.
fold. I mean, we saw it many times with Sammy.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, it's an interesting chapter right now for the bloodline, and it's no Roman, and bloodline is still doing their thing on
Yep.
SmackDown, running roughshod on SmackDown, doing what they want, doing their thing, but like it's a different version, obviously, and like Solo is just stepping out clean as hell with the
Oh my
suit.
God. Yeah,
Like
that
the
was such a
red
nice
blazer
suit
is hitting,
with the black
bro.
gloves too. Man, it just
Yes,
looks
with the
so
black
good.
gloves, like man, he's entering a menace era. It feels like, man, he's
Yeah.
definitely like he's definitely giving like mob boss, hands-on mob boss type vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, I do. I know exactly what you're saying. I pointed out in the chat that it reminded me of Robert De Niro in Casino, just how he had that,
In Casino, yes,
yeah,
yes,
just that presence about him. Like you knew he was the guy, so you didn't fuck with
yeah.
the guy. Solo comes out, red blazer, black gloves. Like the dude was dressed to the nines, ready to go, and I was super excited to see it because again, it gives another layer to the bloodline and the new chapter that we have with a Solo and his way of wanting to run the bloodline without Roman being there. It it's an awesome element that you're adding for fans like me, for fans like House, to where we're not talking about anything that he did besides wear a blazer to the, I mean, he just, that's how good he is. And that's
Yeah.
what really makes me like kind of think of like, why is he not catching as much as like Tonga,
That's a
you
good
know,
a good thought. Good, because I
I
feel like
just,
we've been talking about that a lot in the chat. It's like we're like, oh, if Jacob Fatu came, he'd take over his spot. You know what I'm saying? Is
yeah,
Tama Tonga kind of overshadowing Solo? And it's like, no, like you gotta. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it is the fact that he's not a strong speaker, and I don't know if that's where the minus comes in at, or if it's the fact that as soon as I really feel like that line, and I'm not trying to like over exaggerate it here, but I really feel like that line where he said I think it was somewhere along the lines of if winning winning matters, or winning is the only thing that matters, blah blah blah. But before that he'd lost like 40 matches, so I feel like that people really zeroed in on that, and that kind of hurt him a little bit too. But then it's another thing of like, he is like, compared to the people or the wrestlers of his family that's coming in around him, like, come on, bro. Like, Tama Tonga, more experienced than Solo Sikoa. Tongaloa, more experienced than Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu, more experienced than Solo Sikoa. Like, this is a serious, and I'm going to talk about this later. I'm going to talk about this later in the second half of our segment. So I'm not going to overdo it right now, but like, there's some things you got to ask questions about with Solo Sikoa. So most definitely, I feel like that there's a discussion there to be had, but it's just a situation where like I said, I'm going to break it down a lot more later.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
man, this was a good. Once again, it was a good match. Tama Tonga moves on, and I'm in. Now the next question is, what's next for LA Knight?
oh,
And that's another question. What's next for LA Knight? Because LA Knight, he's still like, I feel like he's still in the mix, and I feel like he's still like in live crowds, like he's over still, but like
mhm,
the internet ain't really like, they're just like, okay, we're used to you now. You know what I'm saying? So like, he still gets the pops in the live crowd. He's still that
yeah.
guy. But I feel like that, like, the internet has like the honeymoon phase is over. You know what I mean? What's your opinion on where LA Knight is right now in his career?
Where he's at in his career, I think he's hit the cruise control, and it's not his fault. Honestly, this is what I was talking about back before WrestleMania. When you have guys who come in like The Rock, and they push a story for the bloodline and they become a feature in that, some guys get their stories kind of, you know, get less bright. And that's not saying The Rock is doing it on purpose. Sometimes things happen. Like in a ring, somebody does one thing, and then now all of a sudden they're what the fans talk about. And at that moment, you have to understand you're in control of driving that car. So if you're putting it in cruise control and you're allowing that, that's on you, buddy. There's a gas and a brake. You got to push it on the brake, which I kind of think Friday night they kind of missed a opportunity for LA Knight to become a more aggressive in a story with an interference coming out there with anything with the Bloodline was doing.
Yeah.
Solo's out there looking nice. Come out there and mess that up.
Yeah.
And no, you're LA Knight and you're here. I mean, like you said, the live crowd, and just go back and rewatch that. They were anything he said, anything he did, his whole walking out, they were with him. They were all about LA Knight. Yes, I understand the internet, but I mean, come on. The internet is full of mean people and they're just going to be, they wake up mean. So you're just going to have that. So I really hope that they do an LA Knight push coming up. I really don't think that the King of the Ring kind of fits
I don't
him.
think it. I was gonna you took the words right out of my mouth because I was gonna try to finish it there for you, but yeah, I just don't feel like that's there was never a thought in my mind that thought he was gonna win this match. It never even crossed my mind, or this tournament. It never crossed my mind, not once.
Yeah, like even when his name was first thrown into it, I heard nobody go, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be an LA Knight King of the Ring." It's like no.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like I said, when I feel like that when you kind of seamlessly like mesh into, because like look, when Tama Tonga came, like it was hot for like what, a day or two, and then people was like, okay, he's here now. You know what I'm saying? But like I already have said my thoughts about that. Is like I feel like Tama Tonga has just seamlessly just meshed into the roster, and like it seems like he's been there longer than what he's been there. So like that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. LA Knight is like what was it? Maybe 2 years ago or something, maybe a little bit less than that. LA Knight was just fighting for a spot on the card. He was doing the the Max Dupree thing, and then when he wasn't doing the Max Dupree thing anymore, they was just trying. He wasn't getting on TV, and then boom, everything's changed for him. So yeah, I can definitely see what you're talking about when you're saying that maybe he's hit cruise control a little bit, not fully his fault, but like where it's a spot where it's like, man, I was just wanting to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? But there's still work to be done. So like appreciate the fact that you are, I'm sure he appreciates the fact that he is rolled out there. He gets to walk through that curtain on national television every single week, no fail. He doesn't have to worry about, oh, I hope they have something for me this week, or maybe I'll be on the dark match before they go on the air or something like that. Or, if a fight or if they have a brawl that breaks out, then maybe I'll get a little bit of TV time by coming out there and helping out. No, bro, you're on TV every single week doing your thing. And I feel like that there's something to be proud of with that. But you got to know in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I want more. So what is that more for LA Knight? We don't know. We'll find out as time goes on. But we got to move forward, man. And now we had this contract signing with Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul for a champion versus champion match at King of the Ring. We found out later that it would be a champion versus champion match, but now both titles won't be on the line. It'll just be the WWE Undisputed Championship. Logan Paul weaseled his way out of defending his championship. And that was the big story going in, is who's going to come out of this match as a double champion. Now there's only one title on the line. I'll say this. I think that maybe I don't think they ever had a plan to actually make this for both titles. Ever. I just think they presented it like that, and they used it as a ploy to make Logan Paul look like a Weasley chicken shit type of heel, where it's like, oh no, I'm not defending my championship. I'm the most important champion on the show. Why would I defend mine? You have to earn your right to my championship, and like it was just that vibe where I was even thinking to myself, I found myself being like an actual fan, like, and not like analyzing and overanalyzing everything like I do as what we do here. I was like, man, you're not putting your title on the line. you motherfucker. Like, I was mad. Like, I was like, I want to see both titles on the line. But,
I
you know,
love that.
he got out of that. But I came away with the thing like he really made me like dislike him more for that moment. And I like it's rare, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's like if I like even if you're a heel, if you're doing great heel work, I like you. I know I'm supposed to hate you, but I like you because your work is so great, you know. But like in that moment, I was like, this son of a bitch, he just robbed me of both titles being on the line. So like there was something actually there that actually made me be like, okay, I feel like this was strategic in making him seem more like a bigger heel. But what did you think about the segment, bro?
You know, I absolutely I was with you at the beginning. I was like, what is going on? But then I sat back and I thought about it, and I thought about Paul's his rise in fame. He's done this. He's known for this. His brother's known for this.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100% now that I have, you know, the full panoramic view of this storyline. And they had no intentions of ever putting two titles up on this one. It was never
Yeah.
like they said it to get people like me, House, the whole In Your House crew, just like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Why would they do this? What's going on? And then they pulled the rug from right out from under us live on television,
Yep.
and they gave Paul his moment that made him famous, what he's known for. I don't want to call it a swerve because it's his own thing, but he does pull this thing, and it does make me go, God damn it, you got me yet again.
Yeah. Yep. Got me.
And it's fantastic. I love it. Like I said to you before we went live, this match itself just seems like they're just not adding it to, but they know they need a championship match. They know they can get over with Cody. They know they can put Paul in there with him, and those were two guys who did not need anything to do with the King of the Ring tournament itself.
Yep.
So
Yep.
why not put them there? Why not make them a feature? And you're just adding extra onto this. Like you told me you were giving me a regular banana split. Now you're adding sprinkles. Now you're adding all the chocolate syrup. And you know, you put whipped cream and a cherry on top. I'm there. I'm eating it. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Trips, for this story, because I'll tell you, a couple days before this Smackdown, I was really in the chat being like, why the fuck are we doing this?
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I
Yeah.
remember most definitely. What up, hype? We see you over here in the chat, Hypocrisy Jones. But yeah, man, I definitely see what you're talking about, and I like the fact that they pulled this little swerve on us. There might be
Yes.
some people that might be a little mad about it, but like you said, when I sat back and thought about it, I was like, this really like made me feel differently about Logan Paul. And when I say differently about him, I'm like, man, fuck you, buddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Fuck
and
you,
and
buddy.
like, but it's not in a bad way. It's in a, I'm
No.
supposed to think I'm supposed to think you're a shithead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm supposed to think. So like he did that, got me in there, and I respect that. Logan Paul, like I'm sorry, but like you just can't convince me to hate what he's doing in the WWE. You know,
No.
I can't. Like it's like if I'm giving everybody a fair crack, and I'm being like, hey, this is who that you know, I'm giving you a fair, you know, level playing field here as same as everybody else. And if I give it to Logan Paul and I'm basing it off the work I've seen from him since his WWE debut, he's been great. And not only has he been great, he everybody's like, oh, he's such a great wrestler. He can really get in the ring, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Yes, we know that. But there was times when he was wrestling where I was like, man, you have no crowd control. You don't know how to, you know, you don't know when to stop talking and let the crowd react to you. You're just talking and talking and talking. Now I see him in a segment and I think completely different. He understands it now. He's got it. He understands when to talk. He understands when to let the crowd talk to him. He understands when to communicate with the crowd. He knows how to do this these live promos now. And he's just reached such a trajectory now where it's like the work that he's doing, I just really can't hate it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying. I liken him to the morning cigarette, the very first one. It's so satisfying and so gratifying, but it's so bad for you. It's
Yeah.
just horrible for you. But it does start the day, and I really do appreciate all the things that he's doing in the ring. I want to hate him. I want to dislike what he's doing, but then he pulls something like he did on SmackDown, and I'm just like, son of a bitch, you got me. I love it because you're playing directly into the heel and making the heel a fun character again.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. And I like this King of the Ring pay-per-view, PLE, whatever. It's gonna be this PLE is gonna be good. It really feels like it's gonna be really, really good, and I'm excited for it. But a lot of the other reasons I'm excited for is we have, you know what I mean? Whoa.
Hey.
I just want to stop in and say hi and tell you guys that you're doing great and that I love your faces and all your stuff, and just pop my head into the household. So sorry for bum rushing, but
no. When you're dressed like Solo, I mean, that's great.
What's that?
Clean.
You're dressed like Solo was, all clean.
Well, you see, I'm Jones, Hypocrisy Jones.
My man looking clean over here, man. Yeah, we're talking a little bit of SmackDown and having a good discussion here, man. And you just sliding in, cruising around, bro.
I got a driver today, so you know how this goes.
Got you.
Fancy.
Got you, man. Yeah, he's getting driven around. Got the suit on. He's getting driven around. My man, fancy man.
Yeah. All right,
black man.
I'm gonna jump off here. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. All right, love your faces. Love you, household.
Love you too, Jones.
Bro. Yeah, we love you, man. We're gonna keep sliding here, talking a little bit of SmackDown. We had our man Hype slide in real quick, but we're gonna move. Yeah, most definitely. We're gonna move on here, and we're gonna go with Nia Jax, Jade Cargill. I think you said that there could be shenanigans in this match. We could see a DQ, and that is exactly what we saw. We also saw a Jade Cargill get her wig split as well.
Yeah, we did see that. Wow.
And we saw not Nia. I'm sorry, Nia's in her menace era, bro. Like, how are you gonna scream in a kid's face? Your mom sucks. Like, that was wild, so wild. I love this Nia Jax. She's in a different bag, bro. What'd you think of this match?
Dude, I absolutely love this one. Honestly, when it come to Nia doing that, that was one of the first things I put out there. I was like, hey, did you guys see this? Nia is out there telling a little girl her mom sucks. It was fantastic too, because I've watched the replay a couple times, and you can see Jade's daughter just kind of have that moment where, she got all the types of butterflies in her stomach and just feeling excited to be in that moment, especially doing something that her mom does and does very well. I've been on the Nia train. I believe most of the household has been on the Nia train for a long time. And the reason I said it was going to be a DQ was because it made no sense for either one to lose.
Yeah.
Each one had to win in a very important way. And then to do the DQ, now you set up something for Bianca. Because remember, at the beginning of this, I said that their stories are going to be intertwined until they have their match against each other. So now Bianca's got something over Jade going forward. Jade doesn't have something over Bianca. So the accomplishments Jade has now are because of Bianca. That's why she has the women's tag titles. You cannot have one without the other. So I loved it. I loved this match. I loved the way it ended. It made sense to me. It made the story have more legs. So I'm super excited to see where they go next. And I can't wait to see what Nia yells at somebody else.
Yeah. It's like I said, she's in a different bag, man. I saw that it got DQ'd, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I guess we're going here. All right. So Nia moves on, and immediately, I think it was my wife. She was like, well, your Queen of the Ring winner is out. And I'm like, damn it. So that happened because I did have her winning the whole thing. So now I got to find a new pick, and I mean, it seems like the writing might be on the wall for Bianca Belair to win this thing now. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like I think she can dispatch Nia. I think she can, and Nia Jax. I don't think Nia Jax will be any worse for wear from taking a loss to Bianca Belair. I mean, I just don't.
No, yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts her. But yeah, man, I think once again, I think this whole King of the Ring thing is going to be really, really good. I don't really want to talk about the match. I just want to talk about them real quick. DIY, man, you don't seem to be a fan of these men, at least in this current incarnation. Do you want to break that down a little bit for the household? I just want them to hear some of your thoughts and what you think, what you don't like, and what you think they could do better.
Well, I love Gargano and I love Ciampa. I think they're fantastic, but I think they're fantastic besides it by themselves. I don't need this tag team anymore. We've seen it. We've seen it in NXT. We've seen it here. We've seen it everywhere. It's amazing. It's great. They do great work, but I'm over it. I've hit the fatigue button with DIY. I want Gargano to be out there being Johnny Wrestling by himself, not getting over with the fans and it becoming a frustration for him, because that's when you get the best Johnny Gargano. Tommaso Ciampa, I want you to be you. Triple H backed you a few years ago before your neck injury, and it was an amazing video package that they put together with you and Triple H and your rise and how you dedicated yourself to be this monster in a ring, despite your size, despite your stature. God damn it, get back to that, because what I'm seeing now is you're relying on Johnny. Johnny's relying on you. That's bullshit. That doesn't need to be you guys. It's the same reason why Braun left the Wyatt family. They didn't need him at a point. And right now, me as a wrestling fan, I don't need DIY. I don't need that. There's such great tag teams in the WWE right now that DIY just seems like something that they're throwing together. This is the only story to me in the WWE going where it feels like they don't know what the fuck to do with these guys and they just slapped them together because it used to get pops. That's where I'm at with those guys.
I hear you. I actually I like the tag team just because I think they have a place in the tag team division. But man, I got to tell you, and I have to be honest, just like you were honest, because that's what we do here at In Your House. Johnny Gargano, I think he's a great wrestler. I just don't know if he's somebody who people are going to watch on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night Smackdown every single week. He does, at least right now, he's not a superstar to me. And I know people are going to feel some type of way, especially the Johnny Gargano fans. And I already know there's people that watch this that were actually trained by Johnny Gargano. Listen, I'm not shitting on your guy. I'm not shitting on your trainer. I'm just saying, I feel like his personality has a very low ceiling. And I think that there's just he's a great wrestler, but also he's undersized, and he has a ceiling on his wrestling. Now with Tommaso Ciampa, I feel there's different because he has that vicious side. He has that obsessive side. Remember, you were talking about Triple H. Triple H in the early thousands, he was obsessed with keeping the WWE championship. He was obsessed. Who else does something like that? Oh, well, yeah, Tommaso Ciampa. When he had Goldie, he always wanted to have Goldie all the time. You couldn't touch Goldie. Stay away from Goldie. He's obsessed with this championship. There's legs for a character like that. Somebody who will do anything to keep their championship. Hello, Triple H. Hello, Ultimate Opportunist Edge. Who would do? And yes, maybe Ciampa's a little bit undersized, but damn it, man. I don't think, I'm not saying Edge isn't a big guy, because Edge is a big guy, but a lot of Edge's title run was him doing chicken shit things. You know what I'm saying? So why can't somebody like Tommaso Ciampa, be vicious when it's time to be vicious and be a chicken shit when it's convenient for him? I think there's legs with that character. Johnny Gargano, I just think there's a low ceiling, and that's just how I feel about it.
No, that's perfectly put. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, come on, Chris Benoit, one of the greatest undersized champions that we knew. And tell me you didn't pop hard when him and Eddie both won titles. Everybody did, because
If you're saying that you didn't, I'm sorry, you're a liar. You know, I
exactly.
understand. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry, man. I understand all the stuff with Chris Benoit and everything and blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
If you're trying to be like, I don't know, a virtue signaler or something, and say, oh, I didn't care about it. I didn't care about it when he won the world heavyweight championship. I didn't care because I always knew he was. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're just trying to sound like you're trying to be on the right side of history. Everybody popped for them when they won the championships and had that moment in the ring at WrestleMania. So please
Yeah.
just stop kidding yourself, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and to me, that really showed that we were exploring the idea of your champion doesn't have to be over 6'6",
Right.
over 250 pounds. You can have somebody of a smaller stature and be a great champion, which they both were.
Yeah.
And it's like Jones says all the time, separate the art from the artist and you'll have a better day. I agree with you 100% with what you're saying. I think Gargano's more of a NXT all-star.
Mainstay. Yeah.
You keep him at NXT and just let him be the old guy in NXT. Let him run roughshod. I mean, MLE or MLW has done that with Raven. I mean, Raven runs a tight staple over there, and it's decent. It's a good watch.
Yeah.
You can do the same things because Gargano still has a few years where he can do the things that he does, but you have to find that spot for him or he will not hit at all. And that's where I'm at with this. I understand you're liking them and understanding that they do have a place in the tag team, but on this one, I'm on the opposite side of the fence on this one. Until they prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Right. No, definitely. Like I said, I feel like that with somebody like it does after seeing like the heel run that we can see somebody like Tommaso Ciampa have. It's just weird seeing them come out and be like, "Let's go, yeah, babyface stuff." You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird because we know that he could be like a perennial heel. You know what I'm saying? Like. So I don't know. I think his heel work is way better than his babyface work, like by a lot, by a lot.
You
But
buy
you
it
know,
more.
it is yeah, exactly. Like it, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? At least for now. We'll see what happens in the future. But we got the main event to talk about before we get on to a little bit of the King of the Ring matches that are not tournament based, because we talked a little bit before the show. And we was like, man, as much as we've had fun talking about this King of the Ring tournament, we don't want the household to get like too much King of the Ring tournament exhaustion. So we're gonna just talk about the other matches that are on there, and then we'll give predictions for those, and then we'll jump to the second half of the episode where we're gonna talk about 3 names on each brand to watch, and we'll dig deeper into that. But Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes. We were both like pulling, nothing against Randy or anything, but I think we were both kind of pulling for Melo to see what could happen for him in the future. He had a little bit of an interaction. It seemed like his next step is he's going to start a program with LA Knight, him being Carmelo Hayes, because they had a little bit of rigmarole backstage after LA Knight lost. But Randy Orton takes the win and he's moving on. And now I think we talked a little bit about this last week, that now they can continue that story that they had Randy Orton had with the Bloodline, because he's going to face Tama Tonga next week in I believe the semifinals.
Semifinals.
The semis. So now they're going to go up against each other. What do you think about that match that's going to happen next week, and what do you think about the match that happened Friday between Orton and Hayes?
I'm gonna hit the Orton and Hayes first. Fantastic match. This I said multiple times with Carmelo. I wanted him to win, but I feel that he's a superstar that didn't need to win, especially in this. He's doing great work, and I really love the fact that they're starting a feud with him and LA Knight. I think that is going to be a fantastic feud. I'm really looking forward to both of those guys coming out on top on that one. And in which, I mean, you're going to have a winner, but I do hope the other guy does get a bit of a bump in his fan base because of the work that they do in this. So I'm super excited for that one. I'm really looking forward to the continuation of the Randy Orton bloodline storyline going.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want it in my King of the Ring. It does give it more importance because whoever wins out of that goes on. But again,
Yeah,
it also puts in my mind that next match afterwards, whoever the loser is, there might be some ill feelings, and we might have a King of the Ring crowned on certain technicalities of certain things. Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm looking really forward to it because, well, we got Randy Orton. We all know what he can do. And now you got Tonga coming in, and I'm still excited to see what he can do. I can see similar what he can do, which what we've seen Solo do, and then what was that Backlash when we seen that match? We've seen a lot of what Tonga can do. And I was excited for it. I want to see it more in a structured match. And I think Randy Orton is a great competitor to put with this young guy coming up in the Raw roster. And he's got a great presence about him. And I really think he's gonna. I think Tonga's gonna win it. I think he's gonna advance. I don't think he'll win the whole thing, but I think he'll advance in this one. I think he gets one over on Orton. Yeah, I think he'll make it to the finals. I don't think I just really don't see Orton going forward unless they did mention that has Orton ever been King of the Ring?
I'm not sure that he has. I'm not sure that he has.
I believe Corey threw that out there. That this is a feat that he's never achieved.
Yeah, right. I think you might be right.
If that's true, they could. I mean, he is at the end of his career, at least in in-ring work. We only have maybe 2 more years of Orton, if we're lucky, at the elite level he's at. So who knows? This could be his year, though. They could crown him. I wouldn't see it not being out of the possibility.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, man. I'm not sure that he has. I was just kind of looking it up, and I don't think he's won a King of the Ring tournament. So, yeah, that's definitely could be something that he can fit in to his already laundry list of accomplishments that he's had throughout his career. And that would be great for him. But I'm with you, man. I think I still stand firm that it's going to be Tama Tonga and Jey Uso in the finals, and we're going to continue this little bloodline thing. It's there's a lot of layers there and whatnot. But altogether, I really thought this was a solid episode of Smackdown. And once again, it was once again, like I've said about these last few episodes, wrestling heavy because it had to be because we're doing a tournament. So because of that fact, we it had to be wrestling heavy, but a lot of stories moving in. I think we had another glitch coming at some point. I think it was during the Nia Jade match. We had another glitch signaling the Uncle Howdy and whoever's with him might be coming. Well, we don't know when that's gonna happen. You had any thoughts on that, man? I know I dropped that video from Twitter on the chat.
Yeah, you did. It's so funny. This is the one subject in my hometown. The local gas stations know about what we do, the podcast and that stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's one lady in there who's like, her and her kids just absolutely love wrestling. And that was the question she asked me yesterday morning. When are we going to see Uncle Howdy?
Wow.
I told her, and I think I'm going to stand on this. I told her I really think we're going to see something after SummerSlam. I know that's a ways out, but I think I'm just looking at it, and they have Rowan. They have his contract. We've heard the spills of that. They have Braun. They've already. I mean, if you watch the Bray Wyatt documentary, you see Braun's ready to go. He's ready to jump right back into the Wyatt family. So, but what don't we have? We don't have who the other people are and where they're at right now and what their contracts are. So I see in the chat we're getting hypocrisy saying Howdy is debuting at King of the Ring. It could be. It could be.
I mean, still a possibility.
it is still a possibility, but I really think, I know it's been a while that they've been doing these little drops and everything, but I really think it's going to be a SummerSlam type caliber release
I,
of him.
it feels like, yeah, no, I got you. I feel like that, honestly. I definitely, like, I like the idea of doing it at King of the Ring, because like King right now, the spot where King of the Ring is at, like we're still, like, we're in the process, or I say we, like I'm working for WWE, but they are in the process of feels like trying to make King of the Ring feel big again and make it feel like a big pay-per-view. So something like that would definitely help, because people will be like, oh, the reemergence of Uncle Howdy, when did it happen? King of the Ring 2024, and it'll always be synonymous with that show. But if you want to go for a show that already has prestige behind it, that already is a yearly staple wherever it's at, I mean, SummerSlam's a good spot for sure. So I'd be cool with either one. I think if you don't do it at King of the Ring, you don't do it until SummerSlam. Like, I don't want to see it at Money in the Bank. Like, it's nothing against Money in the Bank. I just feel like if you're not pulling the trigger at King of the Ring, because you're setting up all these clues now, if you don't pull it at this next PLE, you kind of got to push it off, because if you're not doing it here after all the hints that you dropped, SummerSlam feels like the right time. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But man, we got a couple of matches here to talk about. We're not going to talk about the Queen and King of the Ring finals matches, but we do want to quickly throw in the other matches, just in case myself and the team don't get together before King of the Ring next week in Saudi Arabia. And I'm going to bring up first the Intercontinental Championship match, where Sami Zayn is going to be defending against Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. That should be a really good match. I expect that to be a very, very good match. But what's your thoughts, man?
Oh, that's going to be a fantastic match. I want to say Sammy walks away with it, because that just seems where they're going. But I also could see Bronson Reed taking this and them really pushing him. Chad Gable, he's fantastic, but to me, as a fan of wrestling, he is a fun guy to have on the screen, who's always reaching, who's always just there. Just if he just gave a little more, because Chad Gable, I'm sorry, I don't see you as my champion here. I just don't. Like, I wish I did, but when it comes down to it, I just don't think you need it. And the Sammy could definitely keep using it, because he's fantastic with any championship he has. He's a great entertainer. He's a great in ring worker. I love his matches. Bronson Reed's a young up and comer, ready to prove himself and prove the mass that he carries, that you need to be worried about it anytime you hear ding, 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 let's go. I'm looking forward to this one more out of all the other ones that are not tournament related.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. And I feel like I think it's been a trend where the Intercontinental Championship matches have just been great. It's so amazing to be in an era where the Intercontinental Championship feels so important. And man, I got to tell you, there's a possibility that Bronson Reed could come out of this as the new Intercontinental Champion. I don't think it would hurt Sammy to lose the championship at this point. It's been a couple of months, and like, if this is when he loses the title, then it's fine and I can deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But like, I also think that this is a possibility. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's a possibility where, what if this is where Chad Gable uses this opportunity to introduce the Creed brothers into his academy, and with that being a triple threat match, they can do it right in front of the referee. It doesn't matter. You know, triple threat match, no DQ. You bring in the Creed brothers, come in and kind of they can dispatch Bronson Reed, then set up Chad, or set up Sami Zayn for Chad Gable. Let Chad Gable finish the job, and boom, he not only in the same day does he win the championship that's eluded him, but he also brings in his stable. He also brings in his new stable. Honestly, if they did it like that, not saying that's what they're going to do, but if they did it like that, King of the Ring would be a very, very pivotal show in the career of Chad Gable.
Yeah. And you would make, to me, you would make King of the Ring that much more important. It would be, that would be if that happened, like you said, that would be one of the biggest highlight clips of King of the Ring, because it would, like, that is so masterful. I didn't even think about that. He could definitely do it. Yeah, but it works in the puzzle so well to introduce them into the stable.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. Sorry, fans. He kind of sent my mind into a tailspin.
It's a good thought, right? Like
it's a great thought.
It's a possibility. So who knows what could happen? Once again, like you said, this match is definitely one that I've really, really, really got my eye on. Super excited for this match just because of all the elements that could be in there. And I feel like that Chad Gable and Sami, they could put on a good match against each other. And then you just bring in that element of Bronson Reed with that big man style that'll work well for either one of those men. I just think that you got a beautiful recipe for a fantastic match for the Intercontinental Championship. And anytime the Intercontinental Championship has banger matches, it just makes me smile because I love the Intercontinental Championship and the legacy behind it. So it's great. But we're gonna move on here to the next finals match that's happening at King of the Ring, and that's the Women's World Championship between Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. Becky Lynch, of course, champion with Rhea Ripley being out. Liv Morgan on her revenge tour. Could we see it? Could we see Liv Morgan pick up a huge victory in her career? It would be big for her if she can beat Becky Lynch, but not only beat Becky Lynch, beat her for the World Women's Championship. What are your thoughts on this match, man? What's your temperature on Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the World's Women's Championship?
I like this match personally because when we seen Liv come back in a whole new light. I've never been a Liv Morgan fan, but in the past few weeks, she has made me, well, I'll say the past couple months, she's made me a fan of hers in what she can do in the ring. Becky is Becky, and I never know what they're doing with her because there's so many avenues you can take with Becky Lynch and put her in so many different scenarios that make that scenario even better. So would it be better for Liv to get that win over Becky, get that championship, or would it be better for Becky to retain it? I think the move now is to put it on Liv and have Becky come back even harder and even more the man that she's portrayed herself as, because she's fantastic in ring. You can't really knock a Becky Lynch match. And the ones you can, you find out she was injured and she was working through the pain. So she's fantastic. I love Becky Lynch. I think she needs more of a challenge in front of her. And I'm not saying Liv's not a challenge, but what I'm saying is more of a more drama,
a bigger name, more drama.
Yeah, there you go. A bigger name, more drama, someone who's going to give her more of a underdog feel. Because, like, I mean, right now you look at them compared to each other, I don't see Becky Lynch as the underdog in this one.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Liv Morgan is most definitely the underdog by a long shot in this one. And I like what you're saying as far as Liv Morgan, because it's exactly what I've thought in the past. I know even during her run where she had beat Ronda Rousey and cashed in on her for the Women's Championship, Smackdown Women's Championship, even then I was like, there's still a disconnect. Like there's still not something there. I really feel like this revenge tour has really helped her out a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's really helped give her what she was okay. So what she was missing was a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like she was missing purpose. She was missing her story. And when things happened with Rhea Ripley, it became a thing where it was like, you're ignoring me. You're not paying attention to me. You hurt me, and you injured me and took months from my career, and you're just gallivanting around like you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You're just on top of the world. You got your World Women's Championship. I was on the couch on the shelf warming the bench, picking fucking pine needles out of my ass while you were out there having the run out there having the run of your life. And the reason why I'm sitting over there, picking shit out of my ass, sitting there, is because of you. You know what I'm saying? So like when you kind of got an eye for an eye there with Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan ended up injuring Rhea Ripley, it's like she said, a shoulder for a shoulder, man. And that's exactly what we saw. And now it's like we're seeing this other side of Liv Morgan where it's like, oh dang, now she's not just the pretty blonde girl next door. You know what I'm saying? She's now somebody who has a reason, a story, a motive to do the things that she's doing. And so like if we're talking about stories and it's like they're talking about stories with Cody, it's like where the Liv Morgan revenge tour ends at the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. And that's kind of what they've been saying. She's already set out one goal, and that's to get retribution on Rhea Ripley for the injury. Now, the next goal is to take that World Women's Championship. And at that point, the revenge tour will have been completed. So I don't know what's going to happen in this match. I don't know if they pull the trigger this quick on Liv Morgan. I do realize that I'm seeing her like a lot in the media a little bit more. Like I'm seeing her on podcasts and stuff like that, out there doing more. They could do it. They could pull it. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that they could possibly pull it just for the simple fact that, when I think about it, what was Becky Lynch doing before Rhea Ripley got injured? She was at home with her child and husband. And she came back early because of this situation. What if like it's like, hey, hold this title until we can give it to somebody else, and that somebody is Liv Morgan. Then Becky Lynch can possibly, maybe something happens, an injury angle or something on Monday Night Raw, and then Becky Lynch is out for a month or so she can stay home. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, even if you want to hot potato the title a little bit and give it right back to Becky Lynch at SummerSlam, or if Rhea Ripley is ready to go by then and hot potato it back to Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam, there's definitely avenues right now. It feels like it's a good time to pull the trigger on a Liv Morgan title reign, because what's next after that? Money in the Bank. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That at least gives her like a couple of months to drop it at SummerSlam. So that's just my thoughts on it.
No, those are fantastic thoughts. The one thing I do want to bring to light is this promo picture. This does not like. This looks like JoJo Siwa's older sister trying to be dark too. Like you could do so much more with Liv in this. Like, why is there a pink beret in her hair? Why does she have a smirk? Why? Like, if you're trying to portray her in this darker Liv Morgan, the revenge does not have a face like that.
Right.
And
I think she's still developing, man. I think there's still development there with her. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. No, I'll buy that. That really makes a lot of sense.
I just don't think this is the pinnacle of Liv Morgan. I think that there's still something inside of her that needs to be unlocked. And me saying that is saying I agree with you. There's still more to be built here as far as Liv Morgan. I think sometimes in wrestling, and this goes for life too, but sometimes in wrestling, it takes it takes them longer to figure it out than others. You know what I'm saying? Like Becky Lynch knows who she is. Charlotte Flair knows who she is. You know what I'm saying? Rhea Ripley, real quick, figured out who she is. I feel like with Liv Morgan, I think she's still trying to figure out who definitely Liv Morgan is. And I, they've already given her a couple title runs too, at least at the very least two, I think. And if she can grow into a champion and maybe develop a little bit more during this title reign, and then maybe drop it at SummerSlam. But if she doesn't, like, we don't see next level Liv Morgan. If she were to win this championship at King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring, if she were to win it, and then she had like a lackluster title run up until SummerSlam where she would drop it to like either Becky Lynch or returning Rhea Ripley, then I think you just got to keep the title off her for a long time and realize that she's not a main event girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, just going real quick off of that, where my mind went is we're still waiting on Charlotte to come back, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte could come back, Money in the Bank, win Money in the Bank, take it off Liv, SummerSlam. Rhea, that gives Rhea enough time to fully recover. She comes back, her and Charlotte go at it. I mean, that's just initially where my brain kind of went. And you could give Liv a great run in that little bit of time. I don't really know where they're going to go with this one. That's kind of like you threw so many curveballs at me during that at bat that
a lot of different elements to go to, man.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, but I like the avenue. I can't wait to see what actually outcomes of this match.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, as is this next match. I feel like some of the interest came out of it for me with this specific match a little bit because of what we talked about earlier, and that's Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, champion versus champion for the undisputed WWE championship. And I was more excited about this match when the concept of both titles being on the line was there, because I was in the mindset of like, they're not gonna take the title off Cody already to make Logan Paul champion, but then are they gonna make Cody a double champion? Is this what they're going to do? I don't know what they're going to do. But now that they've taken the U.S. title out of the element through the legal tactics of Logan Paul's lawyer, I feel like Cody Rhodes comes out of it. It's just easy. Cody Rhodes got to retain, right? Like, I don't see any other. I think the match will be good, but like Cody, I don't know what else to say, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And like you said, go back and rewatch if you didn't catch it. Household, House really broke it down of the whole thing, what has happened. I love it because with Paul, all you're doing is putting slime on top of slime on top of slime. And in this day and age, I know the younger fan base, they love slime. They make it, they play with it. So this is awesome. I mean, adding in the lawyer aspect, even better. Paul, he's really got a mind for this, and I'm glad he's in the promotion that's going to allow him, and they actually see it. I mean, they got Prime every time you look on the side. It's over there by the fans. I'd be stinking some of them if I was the fans. You know, I mean, it's a whole cart full. Why? Most of the time, they just run somebody into it and waste it. So
what they call it, the hydration station.
Yeah. Come on, steal a couple, kids. Get a couple for yourself.
Get you some primes. Get you a couple of primes, kids. They're right there. If you're front row, you can get one or two of them.
But send a couple to us too if you do.
Yeah, we'll just, for sure.
Straight from the show.
Sure. I already had to drink one, and I was like, oh my god, it's pretty good.
That's how you get your house.
I know, but no, once again, I think the match is going to be good. The result, it's Cody,
hard.
it is. It's just going to be Cody. So I once again, I think the show is going to be great. Super excited for this show because I love these. I do love these afternoon PLEs, especially on Saturdays. I get off from work, come home, chill out, and jump right into it. So it's great, and I enjoy what they're doing as far as that goes. This is going to be a really good PLE, a really good show. But this has been a really good show so far for the time that we've been doing it. And it's not over, folks. We're not done yet. We actually have our second half of the episode, and it's about to be underway because, I've been doing this for a while, I believe, for the last couple of weeks. And I'll say in the group chat, and I'll say, hey, you need to keep an eye on this guy. Or you need to keep an eye on this girl. You need to see what the story is. There's something happening because, like I said, like there was a time, I believe it was like early last week, where my son was like, "Oh, they're not doing anything with Finn Balor. They're not doing anything with him. I don't know what's going on. He's really good." And I'm like, just pay attention. You need to watch the little things that he's doing, and if you're watching the little things that he's doing, you'll see that something is coming, and it's just no, I don't remember that. That was
Yeah.
that I never I don't remember that.
I don't think it happened.
I have no memory. No memory of that. But if you pay attention to people's facial expressions, their mannerisms and stuff like that, when they're not saying anything, like, yeah, maybe in your eyes Finn Balor might be losing matches or not really saying anything in promos or kind of scaling back. Just watch his facial expressions, watch the way he reacts to things. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see
Yeah.
that something might be happening with somebody like Finn Balor. And this is what this whole segment is all about. This is exactly why we're doing what we're doing, and that's 3 names on each brand to keep an eye on. Now, I want to go ahead and clarify this, ladies and gentlemen. I want to clarify it, household, that we're not talking about, oh, they're going to be the future of the WWE. They're going to be the next world heavyweight champion or women's world heavyweight champion or anything like that. It's not that. That's not what this is. This is specifically whose story that you need to be paying attention to, whose story that we've been zeroing in on, that we think that you guys need to, hey, pay attention to what this person is going to do or about to do. And we've got 3 names from Monday Night Raw, 3 names from NXT, and 3 names from SmackDown. And we're going to give our reasons and break them down a little bit. Voice, you ready to do this, man?
Oh, I'm ready, man. I did my homework this weekend. I'm ready to go.
Right on, man. So I'll go ahead and start us off here, and then we'll take it to you for your first one. The first name on my list, as far as the 3 names on each brand to keep an eye on Monday Night Raw. First name, Lyra Valkyria.
Oh.
Lyra Valkyria is, I think, somebody that you need to keep an eye on. The way she has been moving in the last couple of weeks, she's advanced in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's moving on, and we're gonna see what she's got next in terms of what she's got. But I feel like there's something inside of Lyra Valkyria that where she can be that next big deal, that next big thing. And I even said, I believe it was on my solo shot, I said that she is the Raw equivalent of Tiffany Stratton. And when I say that, I mean not in looks or moveset or anything like that, but I do mean somebody that has potential to have a high ceiling, a very high ceiling, big trajectory. We see it with Tiffany Stratton. I feel like Lyra Valkyria is somebody that they're positioning to be next great things in the women's division. She's, she's mentored by Becky Lynch. Great mentor to have in terms of if you want to figure out what's what in the WWE. I just feel like Lyra Valkyria has a bright future ahead of her, and things are going to move for her in such a way. She's going to get better in promos. The crowd's going to get behind her if they haven't already with their crowd chant on her song. I feel like that Lyra Valkyria is somebody that you need to be paying attention to right now, because you want to, if you can get on that Lyra Valkyria train now, it'll be a lot more satisfying later once he starts being a perennial winner.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That was a great first pick for Raw. Yeah, man, she's already advanced in the King of the Ring. She's working it, man. Someone to definitely look out for. My first pick.
Who you got?
So my Raw picks, they're all people who need to pivot now. This is their moment. This is their year to pivot now. And I'm going to start with Zoe Starks.
Okay.
My reasoning for picking Zoe is because we know what she can do in the indie scene. We've seen her come in as a beast when she was introduced to the main roster. We need to get back to that. We need to have her be the phenom that she is, and we all know she can be. I mean, you got a person with a stature of the shorter end and everything, but she's so dynamite. She is your Dean Malenko of the women's division. She is that. I mean, she's got mat skills that are not even touched yet. I mean, you guys haven't even seen what she can really do on a mat yet. And then for her high impact moves, tell me anybody who's taken them at that size in the women's division like she is. There's one other, Ivy, she's doing it. But outside of those two, this is your pit bull. This is the one that you send out there and you make a statement with in the women's division. And especially if you're taking Raw to Netflix, which you are, you can have her be the menace out there doing dastardly things.
Yeah.
She's so believable in the way she carries herself. I love what Zoe's capable of.
Yeah, I know you. I know you're a really big Zoe. I know you're a really big Zoe Starks fan. You've championed her a lot on this show, and for good reason. I think that she does a lot of good work. I really felt like they were going to ramp her up after she was pretty much like Trish Stratus's bodyguard for a little bit, and then they kind of like threw her back down on the card again, and then we didn't see her on TV, and then she came back, but not in a prevalent position. There's definitely a lot there for Zoe Stark for sure, and I feel like that. I feel like that she has so much untapped potential, and not because of her own doing. It's because she's going out there and doing what she's told by the booker and creative or whatever. But I feel like if they really just look at her and see and see what she can be, like you said, which is perfect, like a pit bull type, like undersized, just gritty, in your face type of vibe. Because we even talked about her, even if they built her and gave her like that Stone Cold Steve Austin type factor, where she was just like had that attitude and would just have that strut and everything. I feel like they would hit with it, and I don't understand why it's like not like I don't understand why it hasn't connected with them to be like, hey, if you present her in this way, you might have a better. You might have better luck with her, but I don't know. I definitely feel like there's something there with Zoe Stark. So that's a good one right there, most definitely, as far as a name that you need to be watching this year. But I got to get to my second one here on Monday Night Raw. And my second pick that I feel like people need to have their eye on as far as with their story and where they can move and things of that nature. Braun Breaker. I got Braun Breaker on my list. Braun Breaker is somebody who, of course, we know has had an impressive run already in NXT. Made a really big splash for himself at the Royal Rumble. And just had a really great high octane showing. And now he's officially drafted to Monday Night Raw. And he's already made it clear to Adam Pearce that he was pissed off that he wasn't in the tournament. He felt like he needed to be in the tournament. And he let him know, I should have been in the tournament. So now already right off rip, you have a Braun Breaker with a chip on his shoulder. I'm sorry, but I feel like that guy is going to be freaking dangerous when he is, they let him out of the saddle. They get him out of the races, get him off to the races, that is, and just let him go, because not only is he already a high impact, high octane, and an intense type of character, you've already presented him already. He's already pissed off that he wasn't in the tournament. So right off rip, he has a chip on his shoulder already. I just feel like you got to pay attention to what Braun Breaker is doing, because when he comes out, he's about to be very, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I love it. I love that pick. I'm gonna wrap my end up with that, with just saying, WWE Raw, you have a new toy. You don't need to keep that toy in the package, because it's going to gain more value outside of that package. Trust me.
Yeah.
Let him out of that. Let him out of everything. Let him be him. He already showed us in NXT what he can do. So I am so looking forward to Braun's Raw run.
Yeah, most definitely. I like what he can do. Who do you got for your last pick for Monday Night Raw? Or this is your second. I think it's your second.
This is second pick. I have Ricochet.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I really love Ricochet, and I'm going to say it again. My Raw picks are people who need to pivot now and take the momentum they are gaining and run with it. Ricochet, we all know his past with the WWE and the phenomenal matches that he's had. The fact that a lot of us in the wrestling world have been he's the speed champion. I kind of went against the rules a little bit, but he is a champion of a new thing that they have started on X. Ricochet, though, he's so phenomenal. He's this generation's Jeff Hardy for what Jeff Hardy was for us growing up. I love his attitude. I love how he just keeps pushing. I really feel that this is the year that he is going to get his fire lit under him, and we're going to see a bigger push for Ricochet. So pay attention in the next few months with what they're doing with Ricochet.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that pick. He's not on my list, which is probably a little bit surprising to some of you guys in the household because of how heavily I've been talking about him. But I think I think I left him off for purposely. I feel like I left him off purposely because I'm like, let me give you guys 3 names I haven't already like super gushed about for like the last month or so. You know what I'm saying? So like I definitely feel like that he's somebody who you could be paying attention to or should be paying attention to. And I think that that's a really good pick. Yeah, Ricochet is somebody who I feel like a pivot could definitely benefit. And he's once again, I could say the same thing about him like I said about Bianca Belair. You got to get the best out of Ricochet's best years, and he's in his best years. Let's get the most out of him, and I feel like that's a good pick because if you can do something different with him, you can get him out on TV and get him in a different light than what you've been doing already. So yeah, that's a good pick to me. So I guess I'll go with this will be my final pick for Monday Night Raw here. And my pick is somebody I literally just said, I didn't pick Ricochet because I've been talking about him and blah, blah, blah. But this one I have been talking about. But I feel like for good reason, though, because of what I've been saying, even what I said earlier in this episode when we talked about the matches for King of the Ring, my third pick is Chad Gable. I feel like Chad Gable was somebody you definitely need to be paying attention to because he's doing exactly what you're saying Ricochet needs to do. He's pivoting. He's in the middle. He's in mid pivot right now. Like he is definitely in mid pivot right now where Chad Gable, he's not doing the, and I thank you stuff. Like we're saying a more serious heelish Chad Gable. He's doing dastardly things. He's abusing his academy. You know what I'm saying? Using abusive coaching tactics for his academy. And I honestly feel like at some point he's going to be like, just talking to Chad Gable, he thinking in the way of Chad Gable, he's going to say, I can't do nothing with these losers. I can't win with these losers. So I'm going to get, you know what, Tozawa, your stupid little dance, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Otis, your worm, get out of here.
Yeah.
Maxine, you're not close to having the juice. Get out of here. And most definitely you listen, I think we all feel like the writing is on the wall where him and the Creed brothers are going to eventually at some point come together. It's going to be a team angle type stable, and then you have Ivy Nile in there who him being Chad Gable, he's already had backstage interactions with. So that's already been kind of hinted around too. We're going to get there. Chad Gable, somebody need to be paying attention to. His story is getting very, very interesting. And he's in a completely different place in his career than he was last October when he went up against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, that's my third pick. It's Chad Gable.
No, I love that pick. That is fantastic. And Indiana fans, you'll understand this. Chad Gable is the Bobby Knight of this group. He is going to wear you down if you're in his group and you're not performing to his expectations. But yeah, I love that pick. That is definitely for my Raw picks, that he is the light you should be looking at for these 3 that I've picked. You need to see what Gable's doing and pivot. And just all you got to do is pivot. Sometimes you get open when you pivot. So yeah, that was a great pick. My last pick, and this man, look, his trajectory is already into the atmospheres. But here's where I seen this. And this was my pick that I came up with late Saturday night because I was watching a lot of things. Jey Uso.
Oh,
Jey Uso.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reason I put you on this list was because you need to grab the fire that is coming from behind you. And that is the Wyatt family fans. The Fireflies love you. The Fireflies accept you and want you to be bigger than what you can already be, because we believe in you, Jey. Jey Uso, you are what wrestling is to a guy like me. The fact that you went against a family of dominance and said, fuck it, I'm doing my own thing. I'm getting
Yep.
out of this. I'm going to be the main event because that is who I am.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Jay, this is your year. You are going to win the King of the Ring tournament. You are going to bring prestige back to that honor. I only hope that the fans get behind you even more so and make you the biggest thing the WWE has going today.
I like that pick a whole lot, just because like is and it's crazy. I'm glad you brought up Jey Uso because it makes me think like on TV he's got it. He's definitely
Yeah.
got it. Like he's putting on solid matches every time he goes out there. He's owned his own personality, and my God, the crowd control is absolutely incredible. The way he
Yeah.
can control the crowd is just great. He's one of the biggest baby faces in wrestling right now,
Yeah.
straight up. But like if you go on if you go on X, it's a completely different atmosphere, man. They're saying, oh, he
Mhm.
can't wrestle, he doesn't put on good matches, he's he's not as over as I think he is, blah blah blah. But people get on X and they just like to
Yeah.
they just like to be contraries. They're contrarians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
want to
yeah.
go. They want, and it's like to say that he can't wrestle is crazy because he's put on great matches for like the last 3-4 years
Yeah.
on his own. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's just crazy. It saying that is just crazy to me. And it's like some of these fans seriously like should never ever think or dream about starting a promotion. I mean, seriously, they should never think or dream about starting a promotion because if they actually got into the thick of things, they'd be like, oh, well, it's one thing. It's one thing to push the guys that you like, and you see it a lot in indie wrestling. They push the guys that they like, but that's not who the fans like. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like you like it doesn't matter if you think Jey Uso is this or that or whatever. The fact is, and it's the same thing we said about LA Knight. It's funny. We were just saying LA Knight. Anytime he walks through that curtain, still over live,
Oh,
not
yeah.
as over on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's what matters. That's why a lot of people say the internet isn't real or the internet isn't something tangible. Because yeah, you might have people online complaining about something, but then you go to that thing live or whatever they're complaining about live, and the people who aren't complaining on the internet, the people who are actually going to the thing live, they're having a great time. And they're rooting for the baby faces and they're doing, they're booing the heels and everything. But like a lot of those people online that just hate to hate or whatever, they've
Yeah.
never even been to a show. They've
Yeah.
never even been to a show. So I don't know. I think Jey Uso was a great pick, and he's rounded out our three names on Monday Night Raw that you need to be looking at and paying attention to their stories. But I want to move over to Tuesday night and go to NXT. Three names that you should be paying attention to on NXT, and I'll go ahead and give my first one, and that is Javon Evans, young Javon Evans, 19-year-old prospect on NXT, who's actually really grabbed a lot of spotlight in a very short amount of time
Yeah.
and having great matches out there. He's an incredible high flyer with a bright future. I feel like Javon Evans, 19 years old, this is somebody they're going to they're going to take their time with him. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a very, very slow build with him because they have a lot of time left. There's not a lot of 19-year-olds right now that's in, that are on mainstream professional wrestling. The only ones I can really think of right off the top of my head is Javon Evans, I believe possibly Nick Wayne and Billy Starks.
Yeah.
And those are probably the youngest prospects on mainstream wrestling right now. I could be missing a few names, but those are the ones that come off my head right now of ones that are under 20. Javon Evans is somebody who I think has a very, very bright future ahead of him, but we might see him, we might not see him come onto the main roster for possibly like another 5 years or so, just because this is a young prospect that I think you got to take your time on. But that's not to say that you shouldn't be paying attention to him. Javon Evans has a very bright future, and for that reason, he's one of the names that I think you should be keeping an eye on NXT.
No, I agree with you 100%. I'm 19 years old. You're nothing more than clay right now. So let Trips, let Sean, let all of them just get their hands and mold you, because you're going to be phenomenal. And I think it's perfect. 4 to 5 years would not hurt you being in NXT. It would actually build, you would be the self-built NXT youngest competitor. I mean,
Yeah.
you would literally, if you took that time, you would be a mold that NXT could follow. And I mean, you got a great look. You're phenomenal in the ring. My only critique would be to put on a little more LBs. If you put
Yep.
that out, it'll round you out, but you're 19. You're still growing. So
I was gonna
each year,
say, like, we say the same thing. We say the same thing about Victor Wembanyama. Put some weight
yes,
on, but you have a great base. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. So build off of that base, do fantastic things. It's the same thing I said to Isaiah Moore when I first seen him 6 years ago. I said, dude, once
Yeah.
you put on weight, you're going to be phenomenal. People are going to be gravitating to you. Look at his career now in the Indies. So this is
He's been
fantastic
doing just
pick.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I like
I
Javon
love
Evans a
this
lot. I
pick.
think he's
I love this pick for the
right on,
young
man.
talent. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. Who you got for your first pick on NXT?
So my first pick, I'm going to go with Joe Gacy. The reason I'm going Joe
Ooh, okay,
Gacy is,
Joe Gacy.
yeah, I liked the guy. I liked what he did previously with it was Schism.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Schism.
stable. I think they had it was Ava in there, the Rock's daughter, and I
Yes.
believe it was the Grizzled Young Vets. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, it was Schism.
I really like Joe's look. I like his in-ring.
Yeah,
I like him on mic. I really think that this would be the time to push him. If you're going to push him
yeah,
and get him out there, making a bigger splash than most people on the roster, this would be the
yeah,
time, because you've already taken Bronson's out. He's not in NXT anymore. Braun Breaker's gone. You got all the big
yeah.
guys that were making a huge splash in NXT are making a splash in the main rosters now. So this would be your time to kind of get in there, become a Jericho, become that guy who just makes you be paying attention to him. That's how Jericho got over on WCW. He made you pay attention to him, and it's fantastic that we have this ability to see these guys in this light, where they're at in their career. And I could see Gacy coming to the main roster next year. If
Oh yeah,
this year push it happens, I could see him there doing some pretty fun
yeah.
stuff too.
Yep. I agree with you. I really like Joe Gacy, and I always am a fan of those type of gimmicks where they're a little bit they're outside the box thinkers, and
Yes.
they're a little bit and they're pretty eccentric, and that's something that you see definitely with Joe Gacy. Not only is he eccentric and outside the box, he can cut a great promo.
Yeah.
If I'm comparing Joe Gacy to anybody, I'm thinking Bray Wyatt, I'm thinking Mick Foley. He definitely gives off those type of vibes. Of course, even also having that huskier build helps too,
Mhm.
but still he's a fantastic pro wrestler. So yeah, I love this pick. Joe Gacy's a great pick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who you got number
So
2?
my number two, at my number two, I have a Lash Legend. Uh
Ooh.
Yeah, Lash Legend. I think statuesque woman, and I think she's super talented, and I believe that she has a bright future. I believe that I could be wrong on this, but I believe that she just advanced in the tournament for to crown a new women's North American championship. North American champion, because they're introducing a mid card title to NXT, and that's the women's North American champion. And I think that she's somebody who can hold that title up in the mid card and be the first ever mid card champion. I like what Lash Legend brings to the table. I think that she has a solid foundation as a wrestler, but also she has a really great character. She's part of the metaphor there in
Yeah.
NXT. And I just really like what she can bring to the table. I really do believe that you should be paying attention to Lash Legend. And I think she has a very, very bright future ahead of her as well.
No, I agree with you. And this group that she's a part of, the Metaphor, this is a fantastic area for her to be in, a group for her to be associated with, because it's going to give her that bit to where she has that extra bit to be on a center stage in NXT, which is going to allow fans like me, fans like people I know who watch, to be like, hey, didn't you guys just talk about her? And then catch on that way, because the metaphor, man, this is a dangerous group.
Yeah.
Together they're dangerous, and you put them separately and watch out, because they're all fantastic in the ring.
Yeah. No,
That was a fantastic pick.
I thought it was a good pick. I really wanted to get her in there. So yeah, Lash Legend. But who do you got, man? Who's your second pick on the NXT that we need to be keep an eye on?
My next pick, okay, this I just seen clips from these guys over the weekend. OTM as a group. This is insane. The amount of talent that can be put into just a group. I mean, like, they're dangerous, man. They remind me a lot of Legion of Doom without the theatrics. I enjoy tag teams. I enjoy the guy who beats the hell out of you, and then the guy who gets on top rope and helps you beat the hell out of that guy. Those are my tag teams. I love them. The monstrous Tuesday that they had is scary, man. Like, this is a team that needs to be recognized, because to me, like, Authors of Pain, they fell a little short for me, only because it was hit or miss when you would catch them on a show. I do respect what they can do. I mean, it's phenomenal what Authors of Pain are capable of, but to me, you really need to be highlighted every show to make your tag team, your faction, a dominant feature in a promotion. It needs to be like Bloodline. Maybe you don't need the stories as captivating as Bloodline, but you need to be featured every week. And I think that's where Authors of Pain kind of fell short, and that's nothing on them. But OTM right now, when you look at Bronco, what he did in the tag match of the last week, it's phenomenal towards the end. That Bronco himself, good God, this kid is talent.
There's a foundation there, man. There's most definitely a foundation. Bronco Nima, Lucian Price, OTM, a great pick. Like, they've definitely tried to do what they can to get these guys out there and do something.
Yes.
I know they really got like that, like Out the Mud. That's what it's called, Out the Mud. So it's like a street type gimmick or whatever. And I think there's a place for that for sure. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, being hood without being like, like stereotypical. Like, they are who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Bronco Neiman and Lucian Price. I think they got a bright future. Honest, the only critique that I have on OTM, and it's not the two members of OTM themselves. I'm sorry, man, but Scripps, Reggie, I can't believe him as a tough guy. I just can't. Like that. Like, with the heart, it was too hard of a pivot. You know what I'm saying? It was too hard of a pivot. He was in the nice suit or whatever, and he was like, what was he? Wasn't he like Carmella's manservant or something like that? Like, brother, you can't be sitting over here being the nicely dressed, proper talking black guy one minute, and then the next minute you're like, yo, B, I'm about to snap, Joe. I'm like, no, but I don't believe you. I don't believe you in the slightest bit in the pivot. And I also heard that they're letting his contract expire, and they're not going to re-sign. So I think that's the reason why we saw Jada Parker come in as like the second manager, because honestly, I think Scripps is about to get kicked out of the group, and then boom, he'll be out of the company. And I think it was a mutual thing where it's like they didn't want him to resign, and I don't think he wanted to resign. So I think that once you get that little bit of cringiness out there, because like once again, I just don't think it was too hard of a pivot with Reggie going from Reggie to being a mass wrestler known as Scripps, and then going to Scripps, the street savvy manager of OTM. You
Yeah.
know, it's not hitting with him. I don't see him like that. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
yeah, and he went for the Wayne Brady on the Chappelle Show gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, that big of
Yeah.
a return.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, brother. You can't go. It doesn't make sense. You can't go from Wayne Brady to Ice Cube. It don't work. You know, it just
You can try.
you can try, but it's an uphill battle. That's an uphill battle right there. So like, I think once you get in, and I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to. That's good. No, but that's the point. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't, no, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I think that OTM is somebody that you do need to keep an eye on past this Reggie thing, past the Scripps thing. Let Jada come in. She's the fresh blood. We got fresh eyes on somebody like Jada Parker, as opposed to we've seen Reggie / Scripps around for a while. Jada, this is a great foundation for her to get, come in and see what she can do as a manager, as a valet for OTM.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, OTM, I think, is a great pick. Thank
you. Who you got for number 3?
Okay, so for number 3 here, I believe this is a man. He's definitely he's making it heavily known that he wants to be in his own lane. He wants to do his own thing. He doesn't want the name that he comes from to play a hand in who he is now, and that's Lexus King.
Oh.
Yeah. Lexus King. Of course, formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr. Lexus King, I think, is somebody that you need to be paying attention to. I think that not only has he really upped his wrestling in the last few years from working with companies like MLW, and then his time with AEW when he was there in the tag team, I believe tagging with Griff Garrison, and this is the early Julia Hart days before she was with the House of Black. She was kind of like the cheerleader of the group of, I believe were they the Hollywood Blondes or something like that. I think that's what they were called. But Lexus King, I think, is somebody who you need to be paying attention to, because he has those elements of his father in there, but also I think he's doing things in his own way. And I think we're going to see this guy really start to do things and be like, when I see him, I think of somebody that's going to do things a little bit unconventionally. And because of his background, they're going to let him do it. So I think that Lexus King is somebody you need to be paying attention to, because he's going to have a very, very interesting career once they really get him off to the races. So yeah, my pick, Lexus King.
No, that's fantastic pick. I loved what was it his dad or his stepdad?
I believe Brian Pillman was his father. Yeah, that's his father.
It was his biological father.
Biological, yeah.
Yeah, I loved what Brian did in the ring, what he did on cam. He was a fantastic feature. And for his son to take the reins and kind of come up, and yeah, I understand him wanting to separate himself from what his dad's career is. He wants to make his own path. Who doesn't? I agree with you 100% on this young man. He needs to be paid attention to. Definitely a talent in the ring.
Yeah, most definitely. And as you can see here, if you guys are watching our video version here, you can see, his father, Brian Pillman, part of one of the most controversial and memorable segments in Monday Night Raw history. I mean, most definitely. So like, who knows what Lexus King is capable of being the son of somebody who thinks outside the box the way Brian Pillman did. So for that reason, my pick, Lexus King. Who do you got, man?
Pick.
Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with a Lola Vice.
Okay.
I think that there is a fantastic feature coming with Lola. She was a women's breakout. She she came out of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament in 2023. She's linking up with Shayna Baszler as of late. There's just so many fantastic things you can say about Lola and the progression she's putting in the ring.
Yeah.
She was an actual MMA talent.
Cool. Oh, that's dope.
So she knows how to throw a punch. She knows how to make a scene. But her in-ring work is pretty spectacular. She really surprised me when I watched her most recent match, and I really love the fact that Shayna's behind her. We talked many times about how Shayna Baszler is amazing talent that we have in the WWE, and somebody we need to capitalize on more and more on the main roster. She's fantastic, and for her to get behind Lola speaks volumes about what she sees in Lola Vice.
Yeah, I love that pick, honestly. I think that NXT just keeps on going with building this women's division, and it's just going to keep on going. I mean, look at the way we talk about Tiffany Stratton. Look at the way I talk about Lyra Valkyria. I mean, and then we still have Bianca Belair and Asuka and Bayley and Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and I can keep going and going and going. Io Sky, all the Damage Control. Like, oh my gosh, like the women's division, once again, an embarrassment of riches. I mean, like
100%.
it just is. Like, it's crazy. Man, but we're gonna jump over to the SmackDown side of things, man, and talk a little bit of SmackDown after we talked NXT and Monday Night Raw. And yeah, this is we're off to the races here, ladies and gentlemen, with these 3 picks. And of course, if you guys have any picks, you guys can throw them in the comments as well and give us your thoughts and everything. And we'll break that down a little bit. The Lou is in the chat. How's it going, brother? Yes, man. Happy Sunday to you as well. What we're doing, Lou, is we're doing 3 names on each brand that you should pay attention to their stories. And we've already gone through Raw and NXT. Now we're going to start on SmackDown right now because I'm going to give my number 1 pick as far as who I think you need to be paying attention to. And if you've been listening to the episodes here, you know this first one is no secret. My pick is Solo Sikoa. Yeah, I think Solo Sikoa is somebody you need to be paying attention to. I've said it a lot on this show that Solo is at a pivotal part of his career. It's a make or break time in his career right now where he has talent around him that has more experience than him, but he's expected to be the leader. He's expected to be the big dog in this. And when I think of somebody like Solo Sikoa, I can't help but think of somebody like Caitlin Clark or think of somebody like Victor Wembanyama who have high expectations and put on a team around them of people with vastly more experience, but you're expected to put everything on your back, and right now, that's what we're seeing with Solo Sikoa. While I've made the point that Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, and even who we haven't seen yet, Jacob Fatu, has more experience in professional wrestling altogether than Solo. Solo's been in WWE longer than them. So, it makes sense why he's the front man. But there's a question to be had in terms of, can he fill that role? Can he command that role of the leader of the bloodline, at least the interim leader right now? Because, of course, we all knew that he was the enforcer of the bloodline for a long time, and we didn't question anything in terms of his role as the enforcer because it felt like it was a good lane to keep him protected and, keep him on TV without putting too much on him. You know what I'm saying? But now the training wheels are off. The training wheels are off now,
100%.
because now he's expected to be the leader of the bloodline, which is the most prevalent and notorious faction on Friday Night SmackDown, and he's the front man of it. I think you need to be paying attention to what Solo Sikoa is doing because, as I've said before, this next year, his career most definitely going to be make or break. So yeah, my pick, Solo Sikoa.
Fantastic pick and great reasoning behind it. I'm with you 100%. And I think we're starting to see that with what we've seen on SmackDown with his new look, him coming out and being the clean, like you want the head of your table to look like he has been there before, like he
Yeah.
belongs. You don't want him looking like a disarray. And him and Heyman's interaction together, I think, is going to be the sneaky surprise for what you're looking for out of Solo. With Heyman behind him, we all know that House is a huge Heyman guy,
Yes.
which we all are here at In Your House. He's got a great mind, and to put Solo with him and actually guiding him more and more, I love it. I love it. I love how they're playing Paul and Solo against each other on who's really talking to Roman.
Yeah, yeah. It's just these little things that are really good. And the thing is, once again, the training wheels are off. We're throwing Solo into the deep end of the pool, and now the question is, can he sink or swim? And for that reason, I think he's somebody that you need to be paying attention to. So that's my first pick, Solo Sikoa. But we'll go on to your first SmackDown pick, man. Who do you got first pick that we should be watching on SmackDown?
I'm going to say his name because I praised him when he was in AEW, Andrade. Andrade is a feature to watch. If you are not believing me, go just watch his last few 8 Saturday Collision matches on AEW before he came to WWE. The man has put in the work. The man realized what he lost when he walked away from the WWE and did his own thing, went to AEW, became something to watch on a Saturday night. Andrade has put in the work. His character work is phenomenal. He really highlighted that in AEW, and his in-ring work is on levels that is like a hybrid of lucha libre and your traditional mat wrestling. It's Andrade is somebody, again, we need to capitalize on the time we do have him, because he is such a phenomenal feature.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Andrade is a great, great talent. And I remember back when you were really chronicling Collision. You did it every Saturday night, went live and everything. And he was featured heavily on that show.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
know you have a close personal relationship with Andrade, on top of the fact that he's just good. I mean, he's a sure thing every single time. And you know what you're going to get out of him. Fantastic wrestling and a fantastic character, and just him being himself to the highest ability. Andrade is a great talent, and him being on SmackDown, I think that it's a great, great place for him, because like, where was, and not to make that comparison or anything like that, because Andrade is Andrade, but where did Eddie Guerrero get a whole lot of run?
SmackDown. Yeah,
So,
you are 100%.
Hey, I'm just saying that if you can make him a staple on Friday Night SmackDown, Andrade can really shoot through the roof. I love that pick. Andrade is a great pick that you guys need to be watching and paying attention to his story on Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
Good pick. Good pick. But I'm going to give my second pick. And once again, I feel like some of these picks here are just like way obvious. And like my second pick, it's Nia Jax. I mean, Nia Jax is somebody you need to be paying attention to. And I gushed a lot about Nia Jax and how she's changed the narrative on her in such a big way. Listen, Nia Jax we've already thought for years Nia Jax has a great look, big, beautiful woman, and that has a great style about her in terms of her fashion and things of that nature. I mean, she really puts that shit on. But she has hit a different level now where it seems like, honestly, Nia Jax is just having fun.
Yeah.
And like, that's so important, is to just have fun. And I feel like that we're seeing it now with Nia Jax. She's loose. She's ready to go. She's just, I feel like Nia is on a completely different level. She's telling kids, your mom sucks. You know, she's getting into it with fans. She's trolling fans. She's just doing all this stuff. Nia Jax is on a completely different level. She's now advanced in the Queen of the Ring tournament. And while I don't think she's going to win the whole thing, I think that past the Queen of the Ring tournament, there's a heavy story to be told with Nia Jax that I think people should be paying attention to.
Yeah, you are 100% right. And there, our producer for the show, Jones, is pulling up the incident you were speaking of, where she
Yeah.
yelled at Jade's daughter, "Your mom sucks," and then proceeded to beat the hell out of her mom on the
Yeah.
outside, which was fantastic. I think this is what Nia was missing uh, in her earlier in her career, the having fun aspect. And
Yeah.
I can kind of understand where she was coming from with feeling like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, especially in the WWE arena. You have a lot of fans who are wanting you to do your best, and then you have a fraction of them who want you to fail, and that's
Yep.
on every wrestler. That's just not you, Nia. Um, I'm talking to her as if she's like in the chat right now, um, but yeah, honestly, I love this pick. I love Nia. I've been on the Nia train since I seen her come to the main roster. My wife actually yells at me and calls me or says Nia is my girlfriend. Just because one time I told her to be quiet during a Nia Jax match. It was just one thing, you know. But yeah, I love Nia Jax. I think she is having fun at this run she's doing in the WWE, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, very excited for what she does. And like Nia Jax is one of the most unique acts in the women's division. There's
Mm,
no woman like, and I mean this in the most respectful way. I really do. There's no woman that's built like her. You know what I'm
nope.
saying? The only one that might come close is like maybe Piper Niven, but then Piper Niven doesn't have the height that Nia Jax has. Like
Nope.
Nia Jax is tall and she's bigger, you know what I'm saying? And I once again, respectfully, I get nothing against bigger women, nothing at all, you know what I'm saying? But like she has a very unique build that puts her like in a category away from everybody else in the women's division. So I really feel like that, like somebody like Nia Jax, yeah, that's somebody you need to keep your eye on, because with the combination that she's figured out who she is and she's figured out how to make this work for her and have more fun, I think we're going to see Nia Jax be on a completely different level in 2024. So yeah, for that reason being, I picked number 2 for
Great
SmackDown,
pick.
Nia Jax. But who do you got, man?
I got it's old Tiffy time. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Tiffany Stratton on
yeah,
what she's doing. This pick was definitely heavily influenced by Jones. He's been talking to me about it's Tiffy time. You got to be on board with this. And I agree with him. She's doing fantastic work, and
yeah. Oh yeah,
she's getting a fan base behind her. And it's not just because of the antics that she does on a mic or on a cam. It's actually her in-ring work. And she's
yeah,
really becoming a feature for the women's division, a feature that I feel that they need. And it's very comforting to know that some of these entertainers, these wrestlers, they naturally find their groove. And if I had an award to give, Tiffany Stratton would get my groove award for the year, because she has naturally found her groove and she is definitely riding that wave. And I cannot wait to see what happens with her continuing forward in the next few weeks.
yeah. I definitely agree with you there as far as it being Tiffy time and Tiffany Stratton. I'm a firm believer that she is a future. That was yeah, beautiful swanton there, beautiful swanton. But she's definitely the future. I
Yeah.
mean, she's already putting out great matches. She knows like the thing about it. Here's the thing. The reason why Tiffany Stratton hits a little bit harder than somebody like a Liv Morgan, and you can even argue that her moveset is way more exciting than Liv Morgan's. I mean, way
Oh
more
yeah.
exciting. But what did I say earlier about Liv Morgan? Some talents take a little bit quicker. It's a little bit longer for them to figure out who they are than it is for others. And for that reason, I think Liv Morgan, she still hasn't figured out who she is. Tiffany Stratton knows exactly who Tiffany Stratton is. And it happens quicker for some than others. And it happened really quick for Tiffany Stratton. The way she is taking the professional wrestling is Logan Paul-esque. And
Yeah.
let's not just sit up here and forget about the fact that she literally has no wrestling background before she came to the WWE. She was a gymnast. She
Yeah.
was she was a gymnast, and she has just seamlessly found her way to becoming one of the most rising up and coming stars in professional wrestling today. So yeah, great pick, Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time, and I think that's somebody that everybody should be watching and keeping an eye on in 2024. Great pick.
Just stay off her Twitter account. You'll be fine.
Yeah, stay off. Yeah, don't go to her IG, most definitely. But no, but seriously, that's a fantastic pick. Tiffy time. It's here, man. But I guess it's time for my last pick overall in this entire thing here. And I think honestly, looking at my list here, I got my phone over here and I got my list. I think I'm pretty sure that this last pick is probably the oldest name of anybody on my entire list.
Oh.
Like all of them. And it's not even to say that he's like old, but he's older than I believe everybody else on this list, except for maybe like the exception of like Chad Gable, maybe. But yeah, he's definitely older than all of them. My last pick that you should be watching on Friday Night Smackdown and watch what his story is going to be is AJ Styles.
Oh,
AJ Styles.
love it.
I think we need to be paying attention to what AJ Styles is doing next. AJ Styles has really lost his identity. AJ Styles has lost a plethora of matches in the last few months. And it's not just any Friday Night Smackdown matches that he's losing. He's losing big matches. He lost at WrestleMania versus LA Knight. He lost at Backlash versus Cody Rhodes. And he lost in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. These are all listen, Voice, these are all losses that are big. They're big losses, man.
Yeah.
Because if you beat LA Knight at WrestleMania, that could change your trajectory as far as what's happening for you for the next few months after WrestleMania. But you didn't. You didn't win. You lost. You beat Cody Rhodes at Backlash. You're the new WWE Undisputed Champion. You didn't take advantage of that. You lost. Then you have a chance to, okay, well, maybe I can make my name and start to, round things out a little bit more if I become the King of the Ring winner. Didn't even get past the first round. Yeah. I think there's something going on with AJ Styles. On top of the fact there's light whispers that he might be retiring soon. AJ Styles, there's a story there. Even with these losses, there's a story there. And there's even a segment on SmackDown where I believe the backstage correspondent was like, "What's next for you?" And he said, "I really don't know." And what's more exciting or scary or unnerving as the unknown? I can't think of anything more exciting, scary, or unnerving than the unknown. And AJ Styles doesn't know what's next for AJ Styles. That's unsettling. What's the future hold for AJ Styles? There's a story there that I think people should be paying attention to. That's why my last pick of somebody you should be watching in SmackDown, AJ Styles.
No, you're 100% right on that. And it is scary to think as a longtime AJ Styles fan that he doesn't know.
Yeah. And
that kind of hits a little different hearing that out of his mouth. I think it's a great pick in the fact that he is somebody we need to pay attention to, because this is a chapter we've never seen with AJ Styles. AJ Styles has always known who he is, no matter what promotion he's involved in, what group he's involved in, what title he's holding. AJ Styles knew who AJ Styles was and where he was going. And to hear AJ say that he's not even sure what's next, that's definitely a chapter we've never seen with AJ. So it's going to be a crazy story to it. And if he is ending his career or retirement, we had a great amount of content from him, a great amount of matches, but I don't want it to happen.
Me neither. I'm not ready, man.
No.
I'm just not ready, man. Like, AJ Styles feels like he can still put on a 5-star match on any given night. Like, he's just so many moments, and like he's one of those guys that's giving you moments outside of the WWE. Like,
yes.
It's the professional. Everybody wants to say, "Oh well, WWE without so and so is going to be a completely different WWE." Yes, you're right. You're right. That whoever you're talking about, if there's somebody of relevance, you're probably right. But I want to say this: professional wrestling without AJ Styles is going to look a hell of a lot different, and I just
Yeah.
don't think I'm ready for that chapter yet. So, yeah, we don't know what's happening next with AJ Styles. Character-wise, AJ Styles doesn't know, but there's also that real aspect of what's going to happen next in his career in real life, and for that
Yeah.
reason, I think we need to appreciate AJ Styles right now. Right now. Don't wait. Don't wait and be like one of those guys that are like, oh, I wish I would have been watching AJ. You go back and watch all of his old YouTube stuff or whatever when he's not wrestling anymore. No, 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 no. Do it now. Do it now. Show AJ love now. Give AJ his flowers now. Don't wait. You need to be paying attention to what AJ Styles is doing and what could be the last few years of his career. So, yeah, AJ Styles. But who do you got for your last pick, man?
I got my last pick. And when I was picking all these SmackDown, I figured a lot of these were people who were either coming back to the WWE or have made a leap from a different fan base. Like Tiffany, she was a gymnast, now she's this. Andrade he left for AEW. This woman is my ultimate last pick. It's Naomi. You have to be
Oh,
paying attention to
okay.
Naomi at all costs. She is doing things that others are not doing. And when I say that, I mean, look at her entrance. It's something that other people are not doing.
Yeah.
Look at her, the way she presents herself. Others are not on that level of how she is on cam and in ring work. She is always going to the next level. Every single match she does, you see the evolution of Naomi's wrestling ability. Every next match, you're going to see something new from her, and that's what I truly love about her. I never wanted her to leave WWE. I'm glad she did because she really built herself up, and
Oh, yeah.
did it. She did it. And the fact that she's back here, WWE, she's at peak fitness. She's at great mental, just
Awareness.
mentally. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's just so there right now. She's capitalizing. The glow, the everything, the way she walks out, the energy she brings.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be watching this woman because she's doing everything that the fans want. And I'm so excited she's back with us at home at the WWE.
Great points. Fantastic points. And I don't want to hear anybody ever say that there's no baby faces, there's no realistic baby faces in today's day and age of wrestling. Because when I see Naomi, I see a legitimate baby face that you can actually get behind. She's exciting, she's energetic, she's got a great smile. She's a perennial winner. One thing that was big with me during her run outside of the WWE is just the locker room presence and the stability that she brings. I can't think of anybody that has been so loyal to a brand during their independent run like she was with TNA. I
Yeah.
mean, it was actually one of the coolest indie runs I can think of for that reason. Stability, somebody that you can count on, somebody that is a company girl, somebody that you know is going to go out there and give you a great match, but also can be the face of your division if she needs to be. Naomi is somebody that you can put anywhere on the card and she's going to keep it exciting. And here's the facts. She's been everywhere on the card. She's been the opening match. She's been the person who's had to put other people over, and she's had WrestleMania moments. Naomi is somebody who's had a great career. And here's the thing. It doesn't seem like it's anywhere near over. You guys need to be paying attention to Naomi. And once again, like I said with AJ Styles, appreciate her now because Naomi just exudes greatness. Great pick.
Yes. Great points to put on top of that pick. Yeah, there's not enough words that they've come up with yet for me to describe how fantastic Naomi is to have on your promotion.
Yeah, she's just like seriously, if you just need and this sounds like a backhanded compliment, it's not. If you just need a solid hand that's going to do everything that needs to be done the right way, Naomi.
Yes.
Naomi, She fits that. And like you said, I hated the fact that she left WWE when she did, but man, we learned a lot about her after she left. So for that reason, I'm glad it happened. Great pick. Naomi was a great pick to cap off what I believe has been a great episode, a thought-provoking
Yeah.
episode. We talked SmackDown, we talked about a little bit of King of the Ring, and then we had our 3 names that you need to be watching on each brand. It was a great episode, man. But we gotta wind this one down. I gotta do a few things around the house before my Pacer game comes on, and I'll be sitting on the couch checking that out. My son is back from his Washington D.C. field trip. Came back. Yeah, I came back early this morning, and now I just want to spend time with him on the couch watching the game. That's what we're going to do. But before I go and do all that and we slide out of here, I got to give you your opportunity to plug anything that you want to plug, anything that you got coming up. We always know that you're somebody that has something moving a lot and always putting your voice out there because you're the voice. But where can they catch the voice, Josh Joseph, out there on the airwaves?
All right. Well, you can always catch me in your house on the Sunday Howse parties. I love being a part of this. This is like a dream come true for me. You can also catch me for my Monday review shows. Again, we are switching it up, and co-host Grunmeister is going to be joining me. He's a fantastic mind when it comes to wrestling. I really like what he has to say, so I'm going to bring him on so the window lickers can come and hang out and sniff out some new blood there on the Monday shows. You can also catch me hanging out with a buddy of mine, Hypocrisy Jones, doing his smoke sessions. Those are fun. I had a blast doing that. There's no real set schedule yet. We're still working that out, but catch those when you can. That is definitely on my radar. And then catch me at my friends' chats when they're going live. We got one in the chat right now, the Lou. Go catch him. He does Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. He's on there a lot, and it's an amazing, fun group of people to be a part of. Grunmeister, again, he does his own gaming. You can go in there and have a blast in his chat. All these guys I talk about, they really have their stuff together, and they really put together a really good show. So go check them out, support them, because it's fun. It's a great time, and you get to meet a lot of amazing people through this experience of streaming.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you have done a good job, in my opinion, of putting yourself out there and going to different shows and helping out different shows. You've helped out this show a lot, that's for sure. Everything that you've done to help this show grow, for absolutely. And we appreciate everything that you do. I know we got the Lou there in the chat. I know Grunmeister's been in the chat before.
Yeah.
And it's a community, guys. It's a community. We all help each other out. We all try to, slide in each other's chats and help with a little bit of engagement and whatnot. It once again, a community coming together. But yeah, guys, that's the voice, Joshua Joseph, and everything that he does. Catch everything that he's doing, because he's doing really great work. As for me, you guys already know what I do, man. You guys already know the stuff that I do right here at In Your House. Just giving a great platform for people to come on, talk wrestling, and have a great time. So you guys know we give you guys those Sunday house parties. Then on Tuesdays, I do whatever I can to give you guys a solo shot. We've given you guys actually quite a bit of episodes in the last 2 weeks. I'm very proud of that. Most definitely proud of that. But yeah, the work has been very, very real, and we've been putting it in. As far as anything else that I have going on, I will be heading over in the coming week or so. I'll be heading over to Columbus, Indiana, and I will be going down to one of their local radio stations, where I will be breaking down Emerge 79, the Emerging Stars tournament. We have a bracket that will be ready to go, and we're gonna do a little bracketology on the tournament there in Columbus, Indiana. They've given us access to their local radio station, which is really cool. I get to do this and work in an actual radio station, so that's very cool for me to be able to drive down there, do this, and be part of a really cool production that they have. If you haven't seen the rundown for Emerge Wrestling, you definitely need to check it out, just because it is a great show, and a lot of great shows coming up in the near future for Emerge, and that being, of course, the Emerge 79, the Emerging Stars tournament itself. I'll be on color commentary for that on June 1st. I do a lot of work with Emerge Wrestling, and I'm very excited for this tournament. It's a tournament that's going to be introducing new blood to the company, and it's the Steve Branham Memorial. Emerging Stars tournament, and it's going to be a really great vibe. 8 debuting stars, 1 will emerge, with great contestants on there, and I'll be on color commentary. Guys, we got a lot of things moving here. I got a few projects in the works that I can't talk about right now. As you guys know, I'm always there. Even if you don't hear me, I'm producing for Elijah Burke and his podcast every single week. Been doing it for 3 years, as we're showing these great contestants here and great matches for the Emerging Stars tournament here. That's Emerge 79 June 1st. But yeah, I'm always doing the work for the Pope Elijah Burke. And once again, we have Hype. He's going to be doing his smoke sessions. I'm looking to produce and help out with that as well. So yeah, I'm just keeping myself nice and busy with a lot of different projects. Man, my summer I'm going to have a busy summer, y'all. I'm going to have a very, very busy summer. Like, once again, not revealing everything that's going on, because I want to make sure that these things happen before I announce them. But my God, if all the things that I got moving happen this summer, I'm going to have a very busy summer. And it's okay, because I like to stay busy as we're zeroing in on the Pope's point of view, the Pope Elijah Burke. Of course, if you guys remember that name, that's a name that you're seeing in NWA and TNA, and of course his run in WWE on their ECW brand back in about 2007, 2008, around that time, around those times. But yeah, I produce his podcast. Go check it out. He does it with Pollo Del Mar. Pollo Del Mar, a manager on the indies, such as myself, does a lot of great work and does a lot of great work for wrestling. But yeah, guys, as far as me, you guys already know I'm here doing this right here. Showing love to you guys out there in the household every single week, as many times as we possibly can. Yeah, it's a lot of great work. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up and call this a really great episode. You can catch me at Alicon House on social media, on X and on IG, and then on Facebook as well. And then you can follow this podcast. Follow us on X. We're starting to get a lot more followers there. We just had like a little boom of followers yesterday, I believe it was, and that's at In Your House Pod on X. And of course, that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So guys, you already know the vibes. Slide on through, give us love, 5 stars. We need those 5 stars. We need those reviews, and just show love. For The Voice, Josh Joseph. For Hypocrisy Jones. For the world's most dangerous podcaster paragon, my name is Alicon, the Concept House, reminding you guys to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon, get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.